school teachers Flint kids deserve. Since the school board refuses to take action, we must act. We must act for the sake of our students. We must act for the sake of our schools. We must act for the sake of our community. The time is now. Yeah.
That's the president. Good afternoon. Bruce Jordan. I'm the UNISERV director assigned by the MEA to represent this fine, beautiful bunch of teachers, and I'm honored to do so. I'll be direct. United Teachers of Flint has requested several meetings with the district over the past few months. Those requests were either one, they were either ignored or were denied, as the board must authorize the district to engage in a conversation, which they have not done. Teachers did not make the decision to go out today, to call in sick today lightly. In fact, it was probably one of the hardest, most difficult, most stressful decision they've made. Student-driven. The families and students are just as tired of the mismanagement and the conduct of this district, as proved by the multitude of Facebook comments alone. Last I checked, there were over 200, and nary a one of them were in favor of the district. They were in favor of the district. Today, Superintendent Jones, in his press news release at noon, I believe, said the district claims that they continue to go to the table to work things out. I am here to tell you that has not happened one time to resolve this conflict. Not once. I have all the emails to prove, denied, no we can't, no we can't, no we can't. So I'd like to know where that conversation is going, because none of our leaders have been there. So just make sure that when you hear that you know that it's not coming from our side, it's not true. I'm here to tell you that the district flat out refuses to talk about the issues at hand. The district has put out a compensation timeline. I think many of you guys have seen it. The board has issued yet another statement outlining their version of a compensation timeline. When Karen and I received it late in the afternoon on Monday, I quickly informed the district that it was inaccurate. That's what I do. I'm kind of mathy, so I look at those things, right? And again, requested, when I let them know that it was inaccurate, I then immediately requested to meet with the district and got ignored. Not one email saying they received it, not one email back saying, hey, yeah, let's meet on Tuesday or whatever, nothing. The district ignored my request. It's riddled with inaccuracies, excuse me. I believe it is due to the fact that not one Flint Central administrator has the historical knowledge needed to put a timeline of that magnitude together, because each one of those bullet points in that compensation timeline has a story attached to it. And there's only a couple people that were at the table at the time those stories took place. And that's your president, Karen Christian, and myself. Very few people are left in the district that knows all the little nuances that go with each one of those bullets in order to tell the truth behind them. So please know when you see that compensation timeline, that's hard to say, compensation timeline, that number one, there's some truth to it. There are some facts in that timeline that are accurate, but it's mostly inaccurate, mostly. Like that you've received multiple steps over the past 10 years. That's a bunch of malarkey. Anyway, over the past few weeks, we've officially requested to meet at least 6 to 12 times, and that's in the last 2 weeks alone. When one party to a discussion chooses not to engage, the other party, us, are left with no other option but to walk. And that is exactly what this staff did today. In the narrative of their compensation timeline, the district claims it gives unwavering teacher support. It states multiple times that collaboration is needed to amicably, thank you, resolve the dispute, and believes that teachers provide an invaluable contribution to the aspects of student lives. Well, I'm here to tell you this board has chosen and acted in a completely different way. Their words do not reflect their actions. It's lip service, 100%. These teachers have had enough. These teachers have had enough. In this timeline, it covers the last decade of different various compensation pieces. There were a lot of bonuses in there. Those bonuses were basically one-off payments, bribery money, so to speak, to get complicit teachers, to get them to stay, to get them to not leave, don't move away from the podium, to get them to completely and utterly stay in the district, because leaving the district like they're doing now in droves is harmful for students, it's harmful for the district, and you all are leaving in droves. You all know that, you've seen it, your colleagues are going to different districts. None of those payments were given to undo the concessions that were taken years ago. Not one of them. They were given just like any other school district would give retention bonuses because of a teacher shortage, or recruitment bonuses to try to recruit new teachers into the system. That's not new money. That's what all the schools were doing across the state. So Flint putting it down there is literally, it's a slap in the face to think, hey, we did this for you. Well, bottom line, you guys, all of you teachers sacrificed 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and enough is enough. Enough is enough! I've said this a number of times. Concessions were never meant to be forever, and forever stops today. The Flint board and Superintendent Jones and the rest of this administration team, we wait eagerly for your invitation to meet and negotiate in good faith all the issues that we need to solve together so FCS, Flint Community Schools, can move forward. Thank you. At this time, we're going to open it up to questions and answers and whatnot, and want to just alternate, or you want to just take them? This is your president, right here. Questions?
Are there plans tomorrow to call in sick again to the district?
No, tomorrow we plan to be back in work.
What about the next day?
Tomorrow we're going back to work.
Has there a date been set for a possible strike if nothing happens at tonight's meeting?
There is a date, but we're not sharing it.
What's your hope for tonight's meeting?
My hope for tonight's meeting is that this Flint Board of Education will realize that teachers mean a lot to this district, and this community loves these teachers based upon all the Facebook posts that were made today, and that they take seriously that when we come to bargain something, that it's done in good faith, and that they should honor what we did.
The public sector strikes are technically illegal in Michigan, but they happen at different times in situations like this. Does that deter you at all? Is that something that you've discussed at all?
If we have to go that direction, there's no deterrence for it.
Thank you.
What do you need to hear besides bargain in good faith? What do you need to hear from the Flint School Board?
I need the Flint School Board to give me a date to sit down and have a conversation about this and to talk true numbers, not to talk numbers that we keep spouting every time it's time to restore teachers. I need real numbers, real stuff from their audit, not from what they choose to bring to the table, but the actual numbers from their audit, and have a real conversation about how much this bargaining unit actually cost the district this year. Their numbers are completely off.
That Facebook post, you mentioned it earlier, it's gotten a lot of support from parents and just people in the community. What was your reaction when you saw that get posted this morning?
Well, first, I didn't know how many teachers had called in. So when the post hit, I was like, woohoo, 119 teachers called in. So My first thought was, we are absolutely in solidarity and unity with one another. That was the big thing. After that, my thought process was, oh, what kind of comments are we going to get? And then when I started to read them, I was like, yes, we have worked very hard to make sure that our story got out the right way. We have done it professionally. We have done it fairly. We have reported it the way it needed to be reported. We did not lie on anything. We told everything exactly the way it happened. We have documentation to back up everything that we have said. And the community is with us and understands what happened. And it was very nice to hear, or to read, sorry, not hear, read, that there were several people that were like, shame on you for trying to blame the teachers for this.
Yeah.
If students have any questions about what you did today when they ask you tomorrow, how will you answer that question, maybe to a third or a fourth grader?
Well, it's more along the lines of, when we do things in our classroom, we always break it down to a certain level. If the students ask us, we'll be upfront with them and tell them there's a time and a place where you have to stand up for what's right. We don't have to go into detail with students about anything else, because we don't go in detail with everybody about everything that happens at the table, because what happens at the table needs to be there until it becomes public. But with our students, it's about telling them, we're teaching them that there is a time when you have to stand up for things that are just not right. When you see kids being bullied, you need to stand up. When you see kids not being treated fairly, you need to stand up. So us doing this is showing them that in their future, there may come a time where they're going to have to stand up to what's wrong and make sure that people understand what's right.
Harold, and then come over back.
In the last school board election, all the incumbents were swept from office. 5 new faces appeared on that board. What happened?
We'd like to know the same thing. When we interviewed all candidates except one. We went through all of their stuff. We asked gobs of questions to each one of them. We thought we had chosen the ones who had a platform that said we're all about restoring teachers. We wanted to make sure that when this time came, that there was actually a time where we could restore teachers, that we would have the backing of the people that we supported. And that didn't happen. Shame on us the first time. It won't happen again. So the next time that we have board elections, I know that there's been some things on Facebook about recalling and all that stuff, but the next time that there's a board election, there'll be different questions that will be asked of the people who are running for school board, because we won't make this mistake again.
Do you intend to inform the board of that date for a possible strike at tonight's meeting?
No. We're going to tell them we have a date, but we're not telling you what it is.
What do you hope to get from tonight's board meeting?
I hope to get a meeting with them so we can talk real numbers and get this settlement agreement back on the table and get it done the way it's supposed to be done. If not, we know that our first ULP hearing is on April the 8th, the first day back after spring break. So that will be, we've asked for an expedited meeting in regards to it, and that was honored. So on the 8th of April will be the first of those court sessions.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A little bit of housekeeping for everybody before you wrap up and leave. If any of the press wants to interview anybody, feel free if they're willing, right? Second thing, when you go to the board meeting, try to be there at 5:45. We'll have some signs there and whatnot. Make sure you sign in. We'll have a couple of people signing people in to make sure that they're there. It's kind of like UAW. Like I said, you gotta work